they'll ask me, what should I buy? And I generally steer them to my house blend, which I call Birdman's Blend, which right now, that name is in the bowels of the U.S. government being trademarked, because I think it's a valuable asset for my store. And I learned how to make it 20 years ago. I mixed it in a trash can. In fact, I mixed it in a trash can until a year ago when I ran into the Berkman Feeds people, who are also here, and they mix it for me now. And what a relief! I got a 70-pound, I got a 70-year-old gentleman who's been helping me in the store. And when Goldcrest comes in on Thursday, and when Berkman Seed, or when the old seed used to come in on Tuesday, Dave would say, you know, I got a letter of resignation signed and dated in a glove box. You get another order like this, I'm going to present it to you. So I've got Dave on board now. He still grumbles about Goldcrest now, because of those enormous boxes. The seed doesn't do it anymore. My purpose with the seed, this is really the point, I have two purposes. Attract a lot of birds. So it's got to be a good mix. Two, make it affordable. And so I played with it. My Birdman's Blend is black oil sunflower. I add sunflower meat. I add safflower. And I add peanuts. And I've been adding the Coles Red Skin peanuts, which makes a real pretty mix. And I played with the quantities of the meats and sap and peanuts to get the maximum bird attracting power at minimum cost. And so I've got a blend that I pay about 45 cents a pound for in bulk from Berkman. That includes freight. They're in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I'm in North Georgia. And I sell it for 90 cents to $1.25 a pound. So my margins are good. I sell it in 5-pound bags and 10-pound bags. I repackage. They deliver to me in 20-pound and 40-pound bags. And the 20-pound bag has just a little bitty label on it. It's not pretty. I'm going to put my Birdman's Blend labels on it. When I get a chance, I've got a sample of my labels here if you're interested. But I dumped that bulk seed into the trash can, which I kept, which was a good idea. And I repackage in 5-pound and 10-pound bags. And then I do a lot of refillable containers. I've talked about the refillable bucket here in the past. This is, I'm advertising for your competition here. Home Depot used to have a really nice white bucket that cost me about $3. And they discontinued that. Now all I can get is that giant ugly orange thing, so I went to Lowe's. And these are about $2.50. And then I buy this lid. And I buy it from Goldcrest. Mel stocked it at my request. This is made by Gamma Plastics Company. It snaps on the top of the bucket and screws on. And it's got two gaskets in it, so it's watertight and airtight. I tell people that if you take the same bucket in the boat and fall out, you're going to be able to hang on to it and survive. And I've got hundreds of these out in the marketplace. They go home to Florida and they come back. A lot of people have 2 buckets, one for the cabin and one for home. I get kitty litter containers. I've got one guy that brings in a 20-gallon steel trash can and we fill it up. It holds about 80 pounds. Refillable works, and I sell that seed in refillables at 90 cents a pound. And people love it, and they buy a lot. It's not the $2 a pound stuff. So that factor really works. The other thing I've done, you may have seen it at share night last night, since I have a lot of customers that live out of town and they want to use my seed. I've come up with something called the Fixin', which is the good stuff that I add to black oil sunflower. And I put that in a 12.5-pound bag, and you put it in one of those Win Price Stores Anywhere post office priority mailboxes, and send it to Florida, and send it to South Georgia, you can send it to South Carolina. And people buy a 25-pound of black oil, a bag of black oil locally, and mix it themselves. And that way, their Birdman's Blend costs them about $1.10 instead of 90 cents. And they love that. There's a handout out here, and there's a handout there by the back of the door, and I suggest or ask that you pick one up. A testimonial on the back from Mary in Thomasville, Georgia. She says, I just wanted you to know that the bird seed I got when I purchased the squirrel food feeder about 3 weeks ago up there is the best I've ever seen. The birds love it so much, I needed to order more and will continue to do so. Thank you for having such a handy way to order. if you have out-of-town customers, there's a way to deliver to them. So it's just a program that has worked for me. I took about 5,000 pounds a month of Birdman's Blend alone, and that in combination with a loyalty program similar to what others have. And free samples, people come in and they're hesitant, they don't know what to do. I'll give them a 5-pound bag. And they say, you can't give me this. And I say, you'll be back. And they are. So if you're interested in a house blend, one thing about Birdman's Blend is that it works virtually anywhere in the East, and I'm sure that it's going to be fine in the West. Dave's got some special situations that he addresses. And he knows a lot more about special habitat feeding. You can feed Birdman's Blend from basically from Maine to Missouri and from Florida to South Dakota, and it works pretty well. If you're looking for a house blend, I'd like to chat with you a little bit. Maybe there's something that we can do. Berkman Feeds is considering making the Birdman's Blend available along with their other blends because it's done so well. And if you have any interest at all, stop in and see Lisa at the Berkman booth. On my handout, I've got phone number and an email address. If you're wrestling with the idea of a house blend, it's a way to get started. And I stand behind the idea of a house blend in large part because of the economy, and your customers will absolutely love it.
Sure. Y'all both y'all spoken about bulk. Now, when you say you get to see in bulk, see, I'm from feed business. Bulk is 6,000 pound load of feed. Bulk to y'all is what? 50-pound bags or?
Yeah, that's bulk to me. 50 pound, 40 pound, 20 pound, is basically on a pallet. The Jay's situation is different, I think.
We don't sell anything larger than a 25-pound bag in our store except for 50-pound thistle. And the reason for that is we're primarily catering to retirees who are older and they can't handle 40 or 50-pound bags. I mean, we'll get it to the car for them, but when they get home, they don't have anybody to help them. So we sell nothing larger than a 25-pound bag in our store except for the 50-pound thistle.
But when you say bulk, though, it's a 50-pound bag.
I don't use the word
I mean,
bulk.
when you get it in, you're not getting, this gentleman will get a 12-ton load of bulk seed in a truck and comes out home.
No, nothing like that. Not like a feed store or a feed operation. Yeah, I'm strictly a backyard wild bird store, and that birds is all we do. Wild birds is all we do. Tom?
Do you sell anything by the pound?
I do not. Now we do repackage, like Tom was mentioning. We do repackage a little bit. For example, a lot of times when we're getting a new customer, they're not willing to buy a 25-pound bag the first time because they want to see if that seed works for their habitat. And so we do put bird seed in recycled plastic jugs, and so like 5-6 pounds a jug. And a lot of people will just buy a jug to try it, and then we try to entice them to come back and buy a 25-pound bag because it's a lot cheaper per pound to buy it than a big bag. And we'd rather have a larger ticket sale than a small sale for our ATS. Also, like Tom was saying, and what I was saying earlier, we do not, what we do is we try to differentiate ourselves by the competition. As I mentioned in that one ad, there are over 20 stores in Prescott where people can buy birdseed. You can go to True Value, you can go to one of my competitors who's here today, Olson's Grain. They're a feed store. But you can go to Safeway grocery store, you can go to Walgreens, you can go to Osco, you can go to Home Depot, PetSmart, Petco, Costco, Walmart, Kmart, Target, etc., etc. You can buy birdseed almost anywhere. But the common denominator for all those stores is what ingredient? Milo. Primarily, Costco sells a 50-pound bag of birdseed for $8.99. Looks like a great deal, doesn't it? So you take it home and open it. Of course, it's not in a clear bag. You can't see what you're getting until you open it. And it's about 97% Milo. It says right on the bag, 3% black oil. And, most of our customers have experienced that, where the birds kick it out of the feeder. And where we live, we have what's called pack rats, which is a native mammal, but we also have what's called javelina, which is a wild pig. And javelina love birdseed. And so when you end up with birdseed all over the ground, you're just catering to the critters that are nocturnal, and you're not getting a good variety of birds. So, we don't sell anything with Milo or wheat in our store, and that's how we differentiate ourselves from Walmart and Costco and the grocery stores and the drugstores. That's what we do.
And one quick comment, being from the Midwest here, there's Milo fields all the way around town. Milo is now bred to be bird resistant, and we're putting it in bird seed. Wonder why they don't eat it.
What do they use it for?
But it's for grains,
Cattle,
beef,
mostly.
pigs, cows. It's a livestock feed, is what it. Yeah, there are a few, but
It's really, it would be in the same category kind of as millet, in the sense that it's primarily for ground feeding birds and not for elevated feeding birds. So again, it depends where you live and what kind of birds you get. If you live in an area where you have a lot of quail that feed down the ground, then Milo actually works. But if you're in a forested habitat where you have very few ground feeders, then it's a waste of your money to be feeding Milo, because the birds are very selective. They're going to kick out of that feeder all the stuff they don't want to get out the few selected ingredients they do want, which is primarily the black oil or peanuts if you have nuts in there.
question?
What would you say your showroom, the square footage of your showroom and your customer count per day?
For me,
Yeah.
the total sports store is about 1,900 square feet. About 1,300 of that is sales floor. So we do devote a lot of space to seed storage in the background, just because in my opinion, we sell a lot of bird seed, probably for a wild bird store. We don't have a house blend, but we have a lot of blends that we sell. Our best blend year to date, we've sold in our Prescott store only just over 63,000 pounds of that particular blend, and that's just one of many of our blends. So
What would you say your customer count per day is?
our goal is about 50 customers per day. That's my target. That's what I want to get. 50 customers per day.
Question?
Yeah, we do. I took a sample to the sharing thing last night of a little Ziploc bag with bird seed in it, and it says, "This is for the birds, and so are we."
Yeah, I like that.
We get so much feedback and success with those, and usually we'll fill it with, what kind of post our house blend or different samples that they can pick up and sometimes take with them. One of my big mantras is a customer never leaves my store empty-handed. And everyone will go out with that and a little flyer about the store, like, "Thanks for your visit today, use this for 10% off the next time you come," or whatever. But we'll take the little bags of bird seed to shows, to places where, they said, "Oh, if you want to set up something, I don't have a staff person to go," we just take those little bird seed samples, and sometimes look, I saw 99% black oil, and I'll put that in and say, "Okay, when you go up to Agway or somewhere else, ask them if they have that." And compare that to the other ones, and we teach them what Milo is, and we try to educate our customers with these little seed bags. And let me tell you, when we send them out of the store with one, we say, "Hey, you might find a hungry bird on your way home." And I had a lady come in with one she picked up at a show 2 years ago, and she still had it, and I'm not sure what she did with the other ones, but she walks in with this thing that was kind of crumpled and falling apart, and I said, "No, you're supposed to give that to the birds. You're not supposed to keep that as a souvenir." But that's something that really helped in educating our
Any comments here?
We do a similar thing in our store. We actually have the Ziploc baggies of all of our seed products that we sell on display, as well as Ziploc baggies of Walmart and Costco bird seed on display. And so when people come in, we pull out the Ziploc and say, because we hear the stories, about the birds taking out the seed, and we show them what we sell compared to the competition. And it's an easy sell when you can show them the difference between a box store and what you specialize in.
Tom, closing thoughts?
Just to reinforce that quality and economy message, Jay does it really well by hammering the Walmart people. You can do it with your seeds, and I love that. Don't let your customer leave empty-handed. That's terrific. Thanks for coming in today, you guys. Thank you.
Give these guys a round. Lunch is being served, and then the show is open to 4. Please make sure you keep seeing those vendors.